Hello, this is Eric Jesse. This course is Education 384. The assignment title is Week 7 SEL Lesson Plan Implementation, Reflection, and Video. Today's date is October 14th, 2022. Jonah, how you doing since last time we met?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. So today, kind of the same type of lesson flow, overall lesson plan, except today we're going to be talking about SEL learning, which is social emotional learning. Have you done any of that in your schooling?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. So this is something we've been talking about for a while. But today, overall, we're going to be talking about responsible decision making. Okay, when I say those three words, responsible decision making, what pops into your mind right away?
Like making the right choices with what you do, I
Making the
guess.
right choices and what you do. So, what is your thought process when you have to make a choice typically?
Um, Probably like how it's gonna affect me and how it's gonna affect other people.
Yeah, because I've a lot of choices we make, not only like you said just there, not only affects us, but it also affects other people. So overall, what do you know about responsible decision making? Do you know anything, or just kind of what you said a little bit? What a basic idea about it?
Just a basic idea.
Basic idea. Okay. And like you said, responsible decision making can benefit not only us, our peers, our family, our friends, pretty much anybody. It's got to think outside of that bigger picture. Okay. So I have a graphic, just a picture of decision making. It's called the decision making model. So it just kind of is a process of or your thought process when making decisions. So I'll go ahead and share that here, and we can talk about it a little bit. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So this is obviously our decision making model. When I've got a decision that I need to make, I've got to stop and then look and then think and then judge. Okay. So you understand how that can benefit us if we because a lot of times when we have to make especially split second decisions, if we just kind of go with first instinct or go with our emotional decision, sometimes it is not always the best or proper decision. So we need to make sure we take a step back, we stop, we then kind of process it, and we overall look at what's going on, what we maybe need to do, and then we think about it. Once we think about it, we can kind of get two or even more options of what our decision should probably be, and then judge and make the best decision that you think is in the situation and what is considered the responsible decision right there. So let me stop sharing there. So after looking on that, so the decision making model, when making a decision or choice, is that a little more clear, I guess, with the overall process?
Mhm.
Um, okay, and then when it comes to being responsible, obviously we want to be responsible. When making decisions, sometimes, I need to think whether I will allow myself to get 4 or 5 hours of sleep or stay up late playing games or something and get 5 or 4 hours of sleep, or make the right choice and go to bed early so I'm refreshed and I can be a good teacher the next day. So, any other questions on the decision making process and responsible decisions?
Nope.
Okay, I've got a short little video kind of ties into this responsible decision making process. Excuse me. So let me go ahead and pull that up and we can watch it together. Sorry, you don't get to listen to me read tonight. All right. Can you see the YouTube clip video?
Yep.
All right, I'll start it. I'll turn closed caption on if you can't, or just let me know if you can't hear it, I guess.
But
I use Grammarly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it because it seems like it's more about other lessons now compared to what we were just discussing. So I'm gonna stop it. First, we're gonna do our exit ticket that we normally do, but is there anything that that we had talked about previously that kind of makes a little more sense now after hearing that video, hearing the lady talk about what responsible decision making really looks like?
They say the question again.
So is after tying the information that we talked about earlier, looking at our graphic and just talking about responsible decision making, looking about the decision making process and the model that we talked about earlier, uh, did that video tie it in or make things maybe a little more clear that we had talked about earlier, or just reiterated some things and made you have a better overall understanding?
Yeah, it made a lot better understanding of everything.
Yeah. I noticed too when it talked about the no decision. Have you ever been in a situation, I'm sure you probably have, where you just didn't make a decision at all, just kind of walked away? Yeah, I've definitely been there as well. And then what was the second one? The snap decision. We kind of talked about that, how you kind of go too early and you don't really look at the options and you just snap and rush it. And sometimes we make an emotional decision, which always isn't best for everybody or ourselves. And then the last one, obviously, was the responsible decision making, which is obviously what we always want to do. Okay, so then, excuse me, for our exit ticket, I guess we'll do the verbal one. I've got two questions. We'll talk about it a little bit like we normally do. Um, so after hearing all that stuff, what does responsible decision making look like to you?
I think to me it means taking your time on your decisions and thinking about every option and, like I said before, how it can affect you and how it can affect other people.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, after looking at our graphic and watching that video, that's definitely what it wants us to focus on, is how it can not only affect us, but the other people. Because obviously, most decisions we make are socially, especially at a young age, social decisions at school, or how it maybe affects your family. And then I guess what information maybe that we hadn't talked about before, or just thinking through like you have been, what information did you learn related to responsible decision making, and how can it help you become a better decision maker down the line?
One of the things I learned was like the no decisions and the snap decision things. I didn't. I might have been doing them, but I didn't understand that like I was what I was doing sort of when I did them.
Yeah, even sometimes the snap decisions we might think is the right thing, but then you look back, maybe that night, and then you're like, oh, I maybe rushed that decision, or oh, I should have maybe done this differently. So when you make sure you get the responsible decision making going, that you did what you could and you did what you thought was right for everybody, and that's obviously what we always want. And obviously, as a good person, I know you are. That's what I know you want as well. So, is there any other questions about responsible decision making that you have, or any other thoughts about it?
Nope.
All right. Well, hopefully it's the weekend. Hopefully you can use it next week at school and get some responsible decision making in. So, anything else?
Nope.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and hope you have a good weekend.
You too.
Thank you.